Hi YouTube. The reason why I'm doing this video again is to bring awareness about eating impairments and things some people go through when they have an entity because they're under attack by other entities that cannot understand that you're going through your transitioning. This has nothing to do with them, so you're somewhat under attack by evil entities, outside things that should not be affecting you. And they can't understand that you're transitioning, you're getting guidance before your exiting period or your awakening period from a certain situation or transitioning period from a certain situation. So they do certain things against you, like mess with your eating habits, certain things they do to stop you, try to make you weak, try to make you vulnerable. When I tell you weak, sometimes people drain your blood. Seriously, will sit up there and drain all the blood out your body pretty much and have you weak and fatigued and to the point you're about to pass out. People will try to feed you feces, urine, so many different things. This is the type of stuff most people don't like to talk about because it has happened to them and they don't want to be upfront about it. I can honestly tell you, you'll have gallbladders removed and stuff like that. It is not fair to you. I can only tell you how to safeguard yourself because other people feel like you shouldn't be eating or feel like they have some authority over you because they're trying to put you in a state in which you shouldn't be in, which is a state of a rock. Skin and bones or skeleton type state where you can't hardly move, you can't do anything, you're just stuck there. Um, the best thing I can tell you to do is eat. Try to find sealed foods. Try to find pre-cooked food, frozen foods, things that will benefit your body later on. Try to find meal replacement. I can give you a perfect example of a meal replacement that I took. This is one. It is equal meal replacement shakes. It was sealed properly. They did a great job with sealing and everything. It was done perfectly. Bottled water. I will always tell people that bottled water. A lot of times people go through the state where their body doesn't feel clean no matter how much you clean it. I mean, you can just clean your body. It just feels nasty. It feels like you going through that stanky stage, just filthy, you know. Um, Same thing. Use a gallon jug of bottled water, soap up, rinse off. That's that. Or go to the water well and get a 25-cent bottled water, rinse off. Do the best that you can. As far as hygiene wise, do just try to do the best that you can. It's like being in a hurricane situation, where there's no lights, no water, no nothing. You're just getting through the best you can. Remember, pre-prep, when you are in a good place or whatever, or a good time, a good state with your entity, and your entity is somewhat going through a prosperity state. Remember to prep. That means doing your bottled water with bleach. Make sure you get you some powdered bleach to add to like water or bleach tablets or whatever, and start prepping your bleach and stuff like that. Because sometimes you may even have to bathe in bleach to cleanse your body, cleanse your skin, just so that you can feel better. Um, Alcohol, peroxide, witch haze, um, uh, any cleansing product, you're probably going to need it when you're going up under attacks from outside forces or entities. These people don't have no restriction. They don't have no respect for your bedroom. They don't have no respect for you. I always tell people this: you can be a married couple and be disrespected. Definitely disrespected majorly, because these people don't have no respect, and even being a person of God, all that, I'm sorry, I can't forgive certain wrong. I'm sorry, God, I can't forgive certain wrongs. I refuse to forgive certain things that happen to me. I don't care who has something to say about it. That, oh, you're not a woman of God, you're not a person of God. You say whatever you want to say to me, because I'm a different kind of righteous person. Because if you say the wrong thing, I'm liable to sit up there and haul off and hit you clean in your face. Because I know intentional harm and unintentional harm. And when people do intentional harm to you, they like to say, oh, because you serve God, you ain't supposed to be like that. It didn't take away from me punching you in your face because I served God. You got just what you were supposed to get, because any enemy of God, God's trying to destroy. And me being a reflection of God, you should know that. But long story short, let me get back to the eating process and tell you guys how to go about doing this. Okay, make sure you're using still foods. When I say still foods, still water, sodas. A lot of the sodas have juice nowadays. A lot of sodas have water. You can use canned water, whatever the case may be. But make sure you're using stuff that are sealed and sealed to perfection. I will tell you something that people would do because they're very nasty and manipulative. They know you have a sealed requirement. What they'll do, they'll open it up. They want to open up everything for you and warm it for you. Don't allow them to do that. That's part of the group that's against you. That's part of the group that's hurting you. These are some nasty, manipulative people and stuff like that. You're probably in a mental health hospital. You're probably somewhere that you don't want to be and stuff like that, but you have that requirement on you, and they'll do some stuff like this against you. They don't care. Because they start asking you, okay, well, what will it take for you to eat? I need my food sealed. And start telling them that I need my food sealed. When they hear that you need your food sealed, they don't understand why you need your food sealed. It's because you're tasting pee, urine. Your food tastes like as if somebody defecated in your food, and nobody else understands it but you. And no, you're not mentally insane. You're just in a transitioning and awakening period. And they can't understand. If they can't treat you appropriately, then they need to remove you from their facility so you can take care of your own self. But sometimes you'll end up being put into a place or whatever against your will, and these people make what should be a day process for you or a couple of days process for you last a century, because they defile evil, no good people. And this is not all of them. This is some. But I'm as straightforward and honest as I can possibly be. My advice to you is to cover and protect yourself. You're not mentally insane. If you feel like you're being raped, there's evidence of rape. There's evidence of rape. I'm a woman, I douche once a week. So when I douche, I can tell when I'm being raped. And if I'm constantly saying I'm being raped, and then when I go insert a dish baller in me and squeeze, I can tell that somebody's been there, especially with the fact that I'm not sexually active at all. So this is something that we do to safeguard ourselves, especially when you have an entity. Don't have sex. I'm just as clear as it is. I don't care if you're married. Don't have sex. Your husband appreciates you later, or whatever the case may be. Just safeguard yourself as much as you can by not having sex. Because when you start going through that wound damage, you got women that only been with one man in their whole life. He ain't beating it up like that, where you have to go do a vaginal rejuvenation. You have to go get a cone biopsy and a DNC. You got to go through all this different stuff. Man, there's some outside stuff going on with that. because you only know one man and you're going through that type of damage. Like as if you're a prostitute in the street, and this is something that the doctors is not going to confess or tell you face to face. So I'm going to tell you, be careful with yourself. And I'm going to use this as a warning habit, because you have an entity. You have to be careful. You have to guard yourself more than the outsider. I have to tell you, like Apostle Paul said, it is better to be alone, and if you can't be alone, then marry. But the best thing for you is to be by yourself and not date, not have sex, not do anything like that, because everything is an attack against you. They use everything against you. They say, okay, if you tell them I'm not gonna give you nothing, you gonna have to steal it from me. They're gonna say, oh well, you gave me permission to steal from you. No, dude, I didn't give you permission to steal from you. I told you I'm not giving you a doggone thing. Now you have to be clear with them. I'm not giving you a doggone thing even if you steal from me. So you have to be careful, because you're going up under these attacks, and these people swear they for you, they're helping you. No, you're going through centuries and centuries of delay, and centuries and centuries of them trying to make you docile or ignorant to the abuse. You can't be docile or ignorant to it. You have to wake up to it. You have to wake up to the word of God. Seriously. That's how I have to put it. But as far as your eating habits, like, the honest advice I can give you when you're going through that, everything's sealed, because you cannot starve yourself for the amount of time they will try to make you starve yourself, because that will kill you. Everything they're going to do is going to try to destroy you and to kill you. Your job is to live. Now, I fast. I go on religious fasts. I'm not eating on my religious fast. I don't care what you say. You're just going to have to wait until I get off of it. So if I fast 2 weeks, you're just going to have to chill and wait until I get off of it. But what they would do, when they see you fast for 2 weeks, they'll come and pick you up off your porch and force you into a mental health hospital and force food down your throat. You have to be prepared for this type of stuff. You have to be prepared for those type of attacks. The only thing I can tell you to do is just guard yourself the best you can, because these people are nasty, manipulative, maniacal people. But this is something you're going to find out along the way. What was once for God is not God's people anymore. And that's all. That's like the best I can say to you. Which was once God's people and a reflection of God's love is no longer. I don't know how to make it no simpler than that. And I can honestly tell you from personal experience, I hate to hear people say, you're going to have to do a little bit of wrong to get everything to go right. That little bit of wrong is what costs you your life. So no, I'm not going to do a little bit of wrong, because that's what's going on. That's why Jeremiah had to constantly keep writing, because that little bit of wrong, and Israel constantly falling into hoism and all this different stuff. These little bitty wrongs always sitting up there adding up. So you have to be careful. But I was really doing this video about diet. I guess God just wanted other things to come out. I don't care. I'm just as honest as it gets. I know that you guys need this information. I know that nobody really talks about it, because everybody's like, hush, hush, hush. Don't tell them. Don't tell people that you're hurt. Don't tell people what you're really going through up under the wings of God. Don't tell people that you filed for an entity and your entity going up under attack by stuff that's trying to turn your entity into something satanic, something unclean, something ungodly. Don't tell nobody that. Hush, hush. Play nice. But guess what? They flamboyantly telling other people what they're doing to you. They're flamboyantly telling how they're constantly destroying your body, in which God gave to you, and stuff like that. They're constantly telling how they're defiling you, but they're not telling the stuff that you're doing to keep yourself afloat with God. I can honestly tell you, everything that you're going to do is going to be to counteract some attack against you. So be smart. Perfect example, I have a group that of people that was trying to lock me up and get me incarcerated. They had did this to me for years. I recently found out that they set up their. I got ready to file a contract with the county, and they had already filed contracts under my name. These are the type of attacks they do on you, and they get the money, but you're gonna get the headache. You're gonna have to deal with that fraud, and all of this is going on up under the eyes of God. All of this is going on with you, your entity, your people, and stuff like that. And you have to start protecting yourself. You have to start reporting this stuff. And the people you're reporting it to is sometimes evil entities too. They're in high power. They don't care. They got high power. They got people under their wings and their entity. And the entity itself isn't evil. It's not like that. But the people that's attacking them from inside is like that. And they're trying to keep it hush hush and guarded so that nobody will know. Mental health institutions aren't really like that, but the people inside, and some of them even gotten to the point where they have opened up entities and developed their own to do this type of harm to people. So they'll send you to these places to harm you and to do physically harm. They're not really like that. The actual original thought process, the organization itself, the corporation itself, or anything that was developed isn't really like that. But at the same time, it has fell up under that criminal umbrella, evil umbrella, however you want to call it, that has stunted its growth. And it may not be stunted, it may still be growing, but at the same time, it's stunted its reputation for growth, I will say. Just be careful with yourself. Be careful what you eat. Be careful what you ingest. When you find yourself going through that state where everything's about, this is an awakening state, you're getting ready to wake up, you're going to have to guard yourself. You're going to have to be extra careful, because they'll throw you in a jail, they'll throw you in a prison in a heartbeat. They'll plot against you, remove your kids from you, and put them in their name so your kids can't go with you. It's so much stuff they'll do to try to justify you staying. Well, we can't give you your kids. We can't do this. We can't do this. All of it is to make you miserable, because you haven't given into the lifestyle that they wanted for you. Some of these people have sold their soul, and they ain't just sell it because of sins that they were committing. They actually sold their souls for money, cars, certain things. And when I say sold their souls, sold their souls, they have done stuff like, how can I put it? Said, okay, I'll prostitute myself for $1 million. So now they became the prostitute. They don't want a prostitute, so they'll go to God-fearing people, God-fearing women, and try to prostitute them out. Like I said, there's women that have only had sex with one man, and their body was tore down without them even being aware that their body was tore down. This is my one, this is my only, this is the only one that I had sex with. And these women are proud to say this, but didn't know that they were thrust into a bad situation because of other entities and other things that are involved in their lives that should not have been involved in their lives. These young women have been raped. Are going through cone biopsies, DNC, going through what they call them, fibroid tumors and stuff like that. That's not you. Your body doesn't naturally do that. It's abuse that's causing your body to have to go through those types of things. And you are gorgeous, you're beautiful and everything, and you have so many people that want you. And a lot of times you see women hiding their beauty, and a lot of times we have to, because it's crazy. You have so many people that want you because you're so great that your body goes through that kind of damage. And you haven't done anything wrong. You haven't had sex with anybody but your husband or whatever. But it's sometimes in life you're not going to even be able to have sex with your husband. I don't know how best to tell that. Um, Sometimes you're not going to be able to do what you want to do because of the rape, the attacks that we go through having entities and stuff like that. And yes, we do sometimes keep it hush hush. Don't talk about it. Don't say nothing about it. Don't let nobody know that this is going on with y'all or this is going on with you. You know, just keep it hush hush and keep it quiet. And that is where the problem is gonna come in. Don't hush hush and keep it quiet. Start doing rape kits. Start doing this type of stuff to say, hey, you know, I haven't been with my husband in 6 months because he was off on whatever, and I don't want when he come home for him to fall straight through. Because whether you know it or not, it does. If you're sexually active today, it doesn't take that long for your body to close completely back up. So when you're going through 6 months for your body to close back up, that means there's somebody else in there trying to keep it hold open. It's so much that I have to like reveal to you because they don't want to get caught up. Remember we talked about female circumcision. Okay, there's a reason why women used to get the female circumcision. What would happen? They would take a vibrator. They wouldn't penetrate them, but they would take a vibrator and all kinds of stuff and mess with their clitoris constantly. So the women chose to get it cut off. So their husbands knew if they was tampered with, this was a form of protection. And a lot of people say, oh man, this is mutilization. No, those women, their families was trying to keep them women and trying to protect them and keep their virtue. So they did female circumcisions. And I'm so angry and upset. I don't even know how to explain these outside attacks from entities. All I can say is that I'm upset about it. I'm angry. I'm upset about the attacks of other entities. I'm upset about why there isn't any integrity. I'm upset about our women wasn't properly educated here in America. I'm from America. Let me let you know now. And we were lied to. We were lied to, honestly. And then waking up to realize that other cultures and people in other continents, other places, they were lied to too. You know, and all of this took place because of other people and just feeling like, you know, they could just do whatever they want to do. We never even understood the attack. We were isolated from even obtaining our entities for so long. To when I was reintroduced back to the lifestyle, I had been isolated from the lifestyle for decades and for quite a extensive period of time. And being reintroduced to it, I had to take a pause and take a break from my entity to see what was going on and why I was being attacked the way I was being attacked. And it was a extensive long time. I did my entity. When I first did it, I went up under attack so bad, I took the break to see who, what, and how. And came to the record, I realized that the attacks wasn't happening because of the entity. It was happening because they were jealous that I had one. I realized that I couldn't even give up my entity anymore. That I had to keep going with my entity, keep fighting with my entity, keep doing what I had to do to represent God and God's people in having an entity. So that's one thing I tell people all the time. Don't give up your entity. You're going to go up under these attacks and you think that it's going to get better because you don't have an entity. No, when I released myself from my entity, I went through years and years of hell after being reunited with the fact of having one. And no one really wants to talk about those type of attacks. I went through eating attacks. I threw up constantly. Because someone's shoving stuff down my throat, because of the filth that was going on and the stuff that was being done to my body, that my body couldn't stand it, you know, and stuff like that. I had a gallbladder removed. I had so many different things happen to me, and when I thought about the gallbladder removal, that's something else I would tell people not to do. Do not do surgical procedures. Hold off a little bit on those, you know, especially with you having an entity. Pray more. Take other routes around it, as far as cleansing your body without doing surgical procedures, because the only thing that's going to happen, your body's going to go straight through contamination right back again. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a DNC done and a cone biopsy, you know, because of cancer and all this stuff. I never knew why that was happening to me until my entity revealed what was really taking place, and the fact that I had been in warfare for years, been bruised for years, been beaten, been going through for years, but there was no evidence of it. Because guess what? I can't report if I'm in a docile state. And my entity built me up and made me stronger. You know, I know you guys may not believe in God as strongly as I do, but I'm telling you, focus on God. The word of God will get you through all of this. When I say don't have sex at all. You and your husband chose the entity. Now, the best advice I can possibly give you is keep your legs closed even to him, because his seeds are precious. I don't know if you read some of this stuff where they're talking about demons building a temple or whatever the case may be for them, and how these demons would say that they had children from righteous and saved Christian men and stuff like that, because they were trying to sleep with them, sleep with certain men and women while they were in the sexual act with their mate. So I can only tell you to just be careful, guard yourself more than anything. Another thing, let's get back on the diet thing, because I have to tell you about that. Frozen foods. I remember one time, no matter what I cooked, the food tasted raw. I can't eat that. So I started buying frozen food, cooked food, pre-cooked food. So if you're buying sausages, you got to buy pre-cooked sausages. So even if it's raw, like you didn't cook it at all, it can't harm you. Frozen foods. Even if I don't cook it at all and it got ice on it, it's cooked, you know? It's already pre-cooked. Pre-cooked chicken wings. Look, all I do is warm and eat, you know, and stuff like that. And your enemy's gonna get mad. Remember, I told you, some of the people that's watching over you, some of the people around you, some of the people that's supposed to be so-called for you, they gonna want to warm stuff up. You know, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna warm it myself. I tell women not to date or whatever. You're gonna go to the times where you're gonna be sick. Guard yourself as much as you can. Try to do everything on your own. Guess what? You can skip a day or two from bathing. That's not a problem. Just make sure you're cleansing your body and keeping yourself cleansed and stuff like that. If you urinate on yourself, try to bathe and, you know, keep the area clean, or keep the area where you urinate clean, or whatever the case may be. Just do your best as far as hygiene wise, because your enemy is lurking. He's waiting just to attack you in any ways possible. And I don't know how else to tell you. Just, this is my way of just saying, protect yourself from your entity. Well, not from your entity. Your entity isn't a problem. How did I always put this? This is going to be the quickest way I'm going to say it. My entity is not my enemy. My entity is not my enemy. My enemy is my enemy. So my entity isn't my problem, but my enemy is. So deal with your enemy. Don't think about closing your entity, because your entity is great, it's perfect, but your enemy is what you're going to have to deal with, and start preparing yourself to deal with your enemy. You guys have a blessed day. God bless you. Take care.